Welcome to the Big E Outdoor Radio Show with your hosts, Big E and Brandon of Big E TV. Found nationally on your favorite outdoor television channels. Big E Outdoor Radio challenges all the hot topics in the outdoors, from racing to hunting and even grilling in the backyard. Our mission is to educate on the facts of the impact of the outdoors on all our lives and encourage good stewardship and good fellowship among our ranks. Follow Big E Outdoors on Facebook at Big E Outdoors and Big E Outdoor Radio. Send us feedback and get in on conversations with us. Fasten your seatbelts, because this ain't your daddy's morning show. We'll be right back with Big E and Brandon in the morning on Big E Outdoor Radio. Big E Outdoors, located at Cedar Creek, is reopening its doors soon after its new remodeling. Home to the area's first and only big game hunting museum, with educational exhibits displaying animals from around the world and facts around the hunters' contributions to their survival. Pick up some unique souvenirs and gifts from the museum and from the Big E TV shows. Meet the pro staff from Big E TV and Big E Outdoor Radio. A great place to stop in with the whole family. And while you're there, book your next hunting trip with the Big E Outdoors professional hunters. With over 21 personal hunting destinations worldwide, you'll be sure to find a quality getaway with the Big E Outdoors destinations. Big E Outdoors is also home to Adrenaline Hydrographic. Check us out online at BigEOutfitters.com and register to win a free hunt. Big E Outdoors at Cedar Creek. Well, good morning and welcome to Big E Outdoor Radio, Brandon. It's another good week, and we're right in heart of opening weekend of deer season.
That's right.
That's right. And here you are working.
And here we are working. That's right. Yeah.
Well, you know, Brandon, looks to me like, from what I seen last week anyhow, we were out doing some hunting, and the rut is still going on.
It is, yeah.
You know,
I actually think they might be moving a little bit better right now, being that the weather is cooling off a little bit more. And, you know, from what I saw last week, they were moving pretty hard and heavy.
They were. And we actually had a little bit of fun with a scent product that we were out there using.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Tell folks what happened there. Well, we were hunting on a ranch, but nonetheless, products still work. We took a guest hunter of ours hunting.
Yep.
And we took him to a ranch. And why don't you tell everybody what we experienced, because it was pretty cool.
As we got to the blind, we set off. We sprayed out some doe estrus scent. And got into the blind.
What did we? It was a buck bomb.
Yeah, we set off a buck bomb, the doe estrus scent, and we got into the blind after we sprayed the estrus scent about 100 yards out where we wanted the bucks to start moving towards.
And we kind of doused ourselves in it.
It kind of got us. Yeah, the wind was blowing our way, and followed us into the blind. Within 15 minutes of sitting there, all of a sudden we had bucks on top of us. Underneath us. We were up in the stand.
Well, first we could see them fighting in the woods.
We could hear them fighting before we saw them. Then we saw them fighting in the woods.
Right where the scent was drifting. The scent drifted into the pines.
Yep.
Into the thick woods, and
once we saw the first buck,
yeah,
I'll bet you in the next 10 minutes we saw 8 different bucks.
Yep.
Some of them snuck right up behind us. They ran right up to the stand because that scent had gotten on us a little bit. They followed the trail of us back to the stand, and they were looking around for this doe. And we had bucks sneaking up behind us. We had one big buck, probably a 180, 200 incher, came underneath the stand looking for us. We had bucks everywhere.
He'd have died, but he had a broken horn.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
We had broken horn one. We had a couple 2-year-olds out there. We had several bucks with broken horns, scrappers out there. It was definitely... We had a lot of bucks, just nothing there that was had a nice tight rack on it anymore. Everything was all busted up, or it was too young. But I'm telling you, it was amazing. It just came alive. And
instantly came alive. These bucks came running in. They were looking, and it kept us busy all night because there was constantly bucks coming in all night looking in and trying to find that hot doe. Yeah. It was amazing to watch how that stuff worked.
So, if you're out there and things are a little slow, try a buck bomb. Try the Doe Pea buck bomb. You can get them at Chase Outdoors, actually. They actually sponsor our radio show. You can go up Chase Outdoors up in Rothschild right there, right off the main drag. And right by the post office, actually, in Rothschild.
Yeah, they're not hard to find.
Pretty easy, yeah.
They've got about everything you're looking for when it comes to your hunting needs.
I don't think there's much you would want that they wouldn't have, but go on in there and tell them you need a Doe Pea buck bomb, and if there's any bucks around you, they're going to come looking.
Yeah.
And, that kind of brings us into the topic that I got up here right now, and it's the 5 myths about the best time to take a buck in the rut. And actually, one of the first ones is that this is a myth. Myth number 1, that the peak rut is the best time to take a buck. And that we've experienced, whether it's hunting deer or it's hunting elk. We've learned that from years and years of taking people hunting and hunting ourselves. And we've learned that the peak rut is not always the best time. Now, they're saying here that the best time is actually in the pre.
Yeah.
But I'm going to differ with them on that here in just a minute. They're saying that in the pre-rut, when the bucks are in their supposed 7 to 10 day seeking or chasing phase, that's the best time, because once they're actually in the peak breeding, that they're likely to be holed up with a doe someplace, which that's correct. And we've seen that with elk when the peak rut comes in, peak bugle. The big bull will have all the cows.
And they hold them up someplace.
And they hold them up somewhere.
Yep. They'll take and hold them in a spot where they can defend and keep all the satellite bulls away.
Yep.
And you won't see them for quite a while. I mean, that bull wants those cows all to themselves, and the whitetail are the same way. They're going to take and keep them in one spot where they know they've got them to themselves, and they're going to try and defend them the best they can. And they're too distracted in the peak of the rut. And I know people have luck hunting in the peak of the rut, but they're very distracted in the peak of the rut. You almost have the does working against you in the peak of the rut.
Right. Well, the same concept comes with turkeys, when the turkeys get all henned up. When the gobble comes on too strong and the turkeys are all henned up because they're busy with the hens and they quiet down and you can't get a turkey to come in anymore. I mean, it's the same
They don't
concept.
answer your calls. And, They're kind of like you.
Yeah. I don't answer anybody's calls either, but that's got nothing to do with the rut. But, when you're out hunting with the elk, for instance, and same with deer, right after is when I found that it's probably your best time, because what you're getting then is you're getting the guy that didn't get any.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if a gal is looking, to find a guy, hit the bars around closing time, because there's somebody down there that didn't score, okay? And he's looking.
That's one way to look at it.
Yeah, he's looking, And that's kind of the way it is with these deer, I mean, after the rut, after the elk bugle.
He's like, all right, who's left over?
There's a couple guys that are there, and they're like, hey, I didn't, what about me?
I
Hey,
only got a
me?
half a rack, but ladies, I'm your man.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, was that open season, that buck on open season with the one, with the broken horns and stuff, but, there's something to that. All of a sudden you can call these guys in and they go looking and they're like, whoa, 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 hey, there's still one looking. There's still one looking, After all the big macho football players leave the bar with the girls, game on, That's when you want to be looking. So at post-rut activity, I think is a good time to head on out there and see what you can pick up. There's nothing like picking up the scraps at bar close.
Yep. And, like we said, it's... these are myths that were we found this article online.
Well, no myth about picking up women at bar time.
Well, yeah. Not saying that the peak of the rut doesn't work. I know a lot of people that do have good success in the peak of the rut, but it's actually harder in the peak of the rut than it is pre-rut or post-rut. Mm-hmm. And I actually am going to go with the article on this one and say that the pre-rut is probably the best time.
The pre.
Yeah.
The pre.
Yeah. You've got more of them.
That's like picking up a woman about 6 o'clock at night. Mm-hmm. She's got all night to pick a guy.
Yeah, but I mean, all they got to do is cross your sights. The doe doesn't have to say yes.
Oh yeah, you're right.
You're right.
So you just got to lure him around a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Bring them in there, you know.
Yeah, I got it. That's right. Well, all right, and that brings us to the next myth, and that says rutting bucks are impossible to pattern. Another myth there. It says the deer hunters rarely complain about the rut, but when they do, this is usually their gripe. So, I think that's not right, and according to the article, it also says it too, that bucks actually move quite predictably from one doe family group to another, and if you really know how to pattern your bucks and you know how to, you're right, you're going to get different bucks that are going to move into areas because of the rut, but they're going to run the trails. They're going to run them doe trails.
Well, that's just it. They're going to run the trails, and if you've got a good stand set up where you've got intersecting trails, you're going to have good luck. The bigger bucks are actually going to be probably easier to pattern because they're moving back and forth. The more, in terms of elk, the satellites, them are going to be the ones that are a little bit harder to pattern because they're frantically jumping back and forth, looking, trying to find any stragglers that they can, and that's where, with whitetail, you're going to
picking up the ugly ones.
yeah, you're going to find with whitetails that you're going to find some of the more non-dominant bucks that are wandering back and forth. You'll see bucks that you never saw on trail camera. They weren't in your area before.
The bigger ones are going to be holed up or going to be close to the does.
Yeah.
So if you can figure out where the does are, you're going to find the bigger bucks.
Yeah. So does that mean that they're impossible to pattern? No.
No. Pattern the does.
Yeah, if you pattern the does, you're going to find the bucks. You're just going to find bucks that you didn't normally see there before the season or during the season.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And when you find a buck, when you do see one, you can almost be assured that when you first see him, he's going to be there for the next day or so. Because he came in there for a reason. He's going to be around there, sniffing around, watching the does before he moves out. So
unless his pattern also is on your neighbor's property, then he might not be there the next day.
Because your neighbor might have got him.
Well, that's why it's important to make sure that you're always in your stand and ready. That one day that you miss.
That one day you miss, your neighbor scores.
That's right. Yeah. Or you go into lunch early.
The lunch thing can kill you. Take your lunch with you.
Yeah.
All you need is a little bit of jerky or some snack sticks from Triggs. Take some snack sticks with you, sit in a tree, and you shouldn't have to come out. It should take care of it for you.
That's right, yeah, it should.
Snack sticks and a bottle of water or an energy drink.
Yeah.
Or dip in your case.
Well, yeah, a good can of chewing and energy drink and you're good to go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, let's take a quick break and we'll come back and we'll talk about some more myths of patterning bucks in the rut. Welcome back to Biggie Outdoor Radio, and right before the break we were right in the middle of talking about some of the myths of the rut. Myths about getting your buck in the rut. Yeah. Common mistakes, things people think.
Yeah, myth number one, that the peak of the rut was the best time to take a buck. That was myth number one. Number two that we covered is that rutting bucks are impossible to pattern, and I guess it depends on how you look at it, but I don't believe that they're impossible to pattern in the rut. I think they're a little easier to pattern.
Yeah.
But, we touched on those, and number three here.
Number three goes right back to what I was saying when we were talking about number one.
Yeah, post-rut. You like to hunt post-rut. And myth number three is when the action is over, the rut is over. That's not always true. And, in fact, you'll find that, especially in people when they breed cattle, whitetail, elk, on a lot of these ranches, you'll find that you'll have a doe or a cow that didn't end up taking, or they come into a late heat.
Uh-huh.
And, that's where you're going to have the rut's going to linger on a little bit longer.
Right.
So you're going to have bucks moving post-rut. You're going to have bucks that are looking for whoever might be left, whether there is anything in that area or not. All you got to do is smell like that hot ticket. Or sound like that hot ticket. Yeah.
Right. And that's it because, again, buck comes into an area.
Yeah.
Finds a doe. Locks down with her, like you said.
Yeah.
When he gets done, he wants to go find somebody else.
How rude.
Yeah. We can't get away with that. How do the deer get away with that kind of activity?
Yeah. Well, that's another thing too. That's why It's funny, you see these
It's like,
bucks.
thank you,
up
baby.
until-
I'll be right back. I'm going after your sister.
yeah. You see these bucks all, bachelored up and everything before the rut, and they're
Yeah.
all best friends and hanging
They're
out together.
high-fiving
And as soon as the rut comes on, it's like, all right, we might be best friends, but if you get
it's
in my way of
it's
the
game
one
on
time
now.
of the year that I can get a piece, you better get the heck out of the way because I'll kill you.
Yeah, and they go at it. And then
Yeah.
after the rut, it's like, hey, how'd it go for you?
Yeah. No hard feelings or anything.
Oh, hard feelings. What happened to your horn there, buddy?
Oh yeah, I did that.
Oh, yes, man. I didn't mean to do that. Hey, how'd you get that gouge? Charlie did that, huh? Yeah, sucker punched you. Oh, yeah, well,
But yeah, I mean, when the action is over, the rut is over. That's definitely a big myth. I don't believe in that.
No, it lingers on. I mean, geez,
In fact,
how
I
many
think-
times have we had deer seasons or gun seasons, where we're still seeing bucks that are doing the rutting thing, and you shoot them and they still got the big neck. Let me tell you what, if the neck is swollen,
Yeah.
they're still looking.
Well, the thing is we do a lot more hunting, I think, personally, after the rut, and we've always had decent luck.
Yeah.
So it's not, it can't be that bad.
No.
So-
Like I said, whether it's elk, whitetail, mule deer, whatever, you do catch them out there still looking.
You just got to be out there. You got to get out there and try it. Don't think that you don't stand a chance once the rut is over, because I'm telling you right now, you're going to find some looking.
Yeah, and again, that all ties right into myth number 4 that you might as well stay home during the post rut.
You're not going to fill your tag from the couch.
No, not if you want to get a trophy, because while the guys were out there hunting in the rut, that trophy could have been
Locked down.
locked down, and they could have shot something else, and so. You're going to see fewer bucks right away after the breeding than you're going to see during the seeking and chasing phase. But, once the rut's over, they're going to start coming in, and you're going to be able to rattle them in again. And so don't give up on that post-rut. You got several weeks left to still make them, come in. So try your buck bombs, try your deer scents, try your rattling. All the way through muzzleloader, I believe you can still get responses.
They're
They're still looking. They are still looking, guys.
And a lot of people think, right after the peak of the rut, they're not seeing that big buck they were seeing on trail camera all year. Somebody must have got him. Once again this year, I didn't luck out. Somebody else got the big one. Well, you know what? That doesn't mean anything. That big buck could have been locked down in a thicket somewhere.
Yep.
And
Yep.
you might get lucky and catch him crossing your path.
Yep, and this isn't just our opinions either, because there were studies done on this at the famous King Ranch down in Texas.
Yeah.
And also by the University of Iowa, they had some guys that went out, and they've been doing the studies on these for years, and they have confirmed that that's exactly what happens post-rut. That's when some of these bucks that didn't get shot, these big ones, they come out, they've been locked down, or they got scared because of the hunt, whatever.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they start coming out, and you can still rattle these buggers in, and they're still looking. And then you got to remember, it's usually about 2 to 3 weeks after peak rut is when the does will come back into estrus. So you're going to have that all recycling again. So, you got to think about the fact that you guys might be thinking, oh, geez, peak rut was a week and a half ago. Man, you're going to have it all the way through November and into December.
Yeah.
So don't give up.
Yeah.
Still use your sense, still use your rattle, and I'm telling you, you can make these bucks respond for a long time yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can trick them, and it depends on. If you're out in public land and there's 5,000 guys out there running around with blaze orange on, and they're hammering at squirrels and trees and everything that's out there, then the bucks maybe aren't going to respond. You might want to wait till it calms down a little, but
Yeah. And a lot of these 5 myths, they're almost all one myth together. They all tie in hand with each other. And
yeah,
myth number 5 here: the primary rut lasts about a month.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, it lasts a lot longer than that. It says here that the average the whitetail doe have roughly a 28-day estrus cycle.
Yep.
And it even says in here, when the doe numbers get out of control, which is it is the case in a lot of areas, the doe
Right.
numbers are out of control. It's going to be a lot longer than that. They're not
Yeah.
all going to have the same day-to-day cycle.
That's right.
It's going to linger on a lot
Hey,
longer.
look at our girls. They don't all come in at the same time.
Yeah.
All they have to do is be off a little ways, and that 28 days turns into 38 or 48 days,
Yeah.
So,
and that's another thing too, don't get downhearted because you missed that one weekend, that Halloween weekend I wanted to be out there in my stand and I had to work or I had to go to this family function or, whatever it might be, whatever excuse you have that you didn't get out there the weekend you wanted to.
yeah, have some sympathy on them bucks because, you got to think about it. All their females are having that time of the year or that time of the month at the same time. You might think that sounds good.
Careful, buddy. You're stepping into a trap right now. You're stepping
that could
into
be
a trap.
a bad deal.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah. So, yeah, but anyway, back to, there's a 10-day spike there when it's the peak rut, and then you got that 28 days, and they come back in. Everybody that didn't get bred, they come back in and they try again.
Yeah.
So, and that's why you have fawns that are a little later than others. You're going to get your late fawns. You're going to have some of your fawns are born in May, and some of your fawns are born in June, and that's how come right there. They get second rut. So don't give up. Don't give up. Keep using your scents. Keep using your rattling antlers.
Calls.
Your grunts.
Yeah.
Grunting. We heard them grunting. Hey, that they actually, when we were up there hunting, they followed the trail of our UTV after we had dropped the scent.
They did. They followed the trail right up to the stand.
Yeah.
Because the scent was on us, and it left a path of scent right to the stand.
Right to the stand.
I thought they were going to kick on the, knock down the door on the stand. I mean, they came right up to it.
They came right. I mean, it was amazing. I wasn't a believer in the buck bomb.
They were so close, in fact.
And by the way, the buck bomb's not a sponsor of us in any way, shape, or form. It's just that we used it, and I was blown away.
Yeah. So, I mean, they were so close that the guide in the stand couldn't even see a lot of these bucks. They were so close, so underneath the stand. I had to hold the camera almost out the window to be able to film some of these things. And, I mean, snot running out of their nose, drooling. I mean, these things were ready for it. They wanted it.
I've been there.
And, yeah, we've all been there. But, so, yeah, I mean, that thing really worked. And so if you want to, try something that might up your game a little bit, it's not too late. Give it a shot. Go and pick up one of these buck bombs. Go down to Chase Outdoors. Tell them Big E sent you their way.
Tell them you need a dopey.
Yeah, the dopey. That's right.
Dopey buck bomb.
Yeah. In fact, the one we had was one of them big ones. It had, said 33% more or whatever.
I think they all do now.
Well, either way,
you get the bonus pack now.
Yeah.
Well, there's a hint. When you're using them things,
don't stand downwind.
Don't stand downwind. That's one. And remember when you push the button down that it locks in place. So
you're not going to squirt it out the window of the stand and then bring it back in. You're just going to gas yourself out.
We heard a story about somebody that actually did that.
Yeah.
He was just going to squirt a little bit, and he squirted it down and it locked into place. He panicked and brought it back into the stand with him.
Dropped it on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, fogged out the entire stand.
It definitely will get rid of mosquitoes. But you're going to smell nice and ripe when you...
It's going to make that walk out of the woods a little nerve-wracking for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to get...
you better call for a ride.
Gang raped by a couple of bucks on the way out of the woods.
That's not a joke, though. I mean, that can cause a hazard. That can be dangerous for you. If you get some of that on you, I've heard of bucks attacking people because they're following them, and all of a sudden,
the way those bucks acted, I would be...
I wouldn't have got out of the stand smelling like I did. No way.
No, there's a couple ways I don't want to go, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
Hey, let's take a quick break on that note. We'll be right back with some more Biggie Outdoor Radio. This segment of Biggie Outdoors is brought to you by Snap Fitness of Wausau. It's time to get in shape, and Snap Fitness is the right place to do it. With 2 locations in Weston and Wausau, you're never far from a Snap Fitness. Open 24/7 for members with clean and well-maintained equipment. Check out their new location across from Fleet Farm on Wausau's north side with all new machines and equipment. Sign up for some classes or training. Pick up the supplements you need and take advantage of the monthly deals and sign-up specials they have going on now. The staff at Snap Fitness is waiting for you to assist you in any way they can. So head on down to Snap Fitness today and get signed up. Welcome back to some more Big E Outdoor Radio. We're hoping that everybody out there is having a great hunting season. And
Safe hunting season.
Safe. And let's hope you're out there sharing it with your loved ones.
Yep.
Of all ages, no matter how old you are.
Yep.
And you're never too old to hunt.
That's right, yeah. Yeah,
As we see here.
Yeah, there's an article here, this 82-year-old grandmother.
Yep. At 82 years old, she should be a grandmother by then, don't you think?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, not always, but yeah, you would think so.
It would be.
Yeah.
Could happen.
Got herself a nice bull in Utah.
Yep. Her first bull elk ever.
So you're never too old to get your first.
That's right.
That's right.
She was still a virgin at 82.
Oh, boy. So, yeah, it says here, she got a bull. It was 336 inches. They had to hike about 7 miles into it. So,
Yeah.
don't think that you're too old or too out of shape to get anything done. This gal got it done. Heck of an article here, actually. It says Grantsville. I don't know if it's Grantsville,
Utah.
Utah.
So,
Yep. So,
She had said that she liked to hunt with her son. Sounds like her husband had passed away, and so she hunted a lot with her son. And she used to go along with him, trek along, and finally her son asked her to get a gun and hunt with her, so she did. And she got her rifle, her first rifle to hunt with, when she was 55. So, look at that, huh?
yeah.
She didn't even start hunting until she was 55 years old. And she's killed several mule deer, 5 cow elk on different hunts throughout the years. And in the fall of 2015 now, she just nailed her nice big bull elk, nice big 6x6 near Morgan, Utah, it sounds like here. So I think that's...
It's her husband hadn't passed away. It says he was unable to accompany her on the hunt.
Oh, yeah. Yep, it says that, yep.
Yep, but she was glad to have her son help her. So
Yeah.
her son went with her.
Ugh. So she left her husband home and went hunting.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Holy criminy. That's kind of backwards, isn't it?
Yeah. So, but it sounds like she had spent quite a few years hunting with her son, and she said that was one of the joys of it. So this goes back to something we talked about last week. You know, enjoying the trip, enjoy the experience, and if you get an animal, fill your tag. That's just icing on the cake, folks.
Yeah.
Don't get carried away and ruin a good hunt and a good experience by psyching yourself out and thinking that not filling your tag, it was a wasted trip. It's not a wasted trip. Enjoy it.
And you're never too old to try anything new.
That's right. That's right. And you're never too old to start hunting. I mean, she purchased her rifle at 55 years
55.
of age.
55.
55. That's what it says here.
55.
Yeah.
5.
You want to keep repeating me, or you want to talk?
Well,
we
I
got a
just-
radio show to do. This is nonsense.
I'm thinking that she was almost at that age where she should stop driving.
Hey, you better be careful, buddy,
But she
'cause
was
you're
still
getting
on.
there. Yeah, you're getting there. Well, that's why I drive most places that we go together now. I just don't trust you behind the wheel anymore.
Yeah.
Your vision's going.
Once your age gets to be higher than the speed limit.
Yeah. That's why you can't drive in town anymore.
You either.
Hey, no.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool, though. I mean, congratulations to her. You know, I think that, any time that you can take somebody hunting, and again, I mean, it's a grandfather or somebody taking a kid hunting.
Yeah.
But this was kind of an interesting deal, so.
And this was a son taking his 82-year-old mother.
Mother.
That's a nice story.
Yeah. Well, while you're out there, you're going to have those unfortunate incidents where you run into trespassers.
Yep.
And you're going to have to deal with them.
You're going to need a shovel, a bag of lime, and some lawn darts. Oh, wait, no.
No. That's not how you deal with the trespassers.
Oh, all right. Well, then you're going to tell me the do's and don'ts then.
Well, this is how I deal with it. When I remember when you were younger and we had that land and we had that attorney from Chicago that bought the land next to us.
Yeah.
And, I had shot a deer and my deer ran over onto his land and he right away come running over there and stopped me at the line when I got to the blood trail, and he said, "Hey, this is my land, and nobody comes on my land, and you come on my land, I'm going to sue you because I'm an attorney from Chicago." And I said, "Hey, that's not the way we do it here in Wisconsin. We're a little bit more neighborly. We kind of work with each other." And he said, "Hey, I don't care how you do it. I'm an attorney, and this is what we're going to do." And I said, "Well, I'll tell you what. We have another way of settling things here instead of going to court." I said, "What we'll do is we stand back, we look each other square in the eye, and then we start out by kicking each other square between the legs. And whoever gives up first, we take turns doing that. And whoever gives up first gets the deer." And he's a pretty big guy, and he looked at me and he laughed. And he goes,
was this a big buck?
It was a big buck, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he said, "Okay, let's go." And I said, "Well, since I'm the one that shot the deer, I get to go first. This is the way it goes in Wisconsin. And plus, I have a resident tag." And he said, "All right, fine." So I reared back. I kicked him right square between the legs. And he just, and he bent over, and he was just holding on to his junk down there. And he stands up, and he looks at me, and he goes, "Okay, my turn." And I said, "Nah, you know what? I give up. You can have the deer."
Oh, man. Well, that's one way to settle it.
That's one way to deal with it.
Did you feel better?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you couldn't put anything on the wall, but you definitely had that to hold on to.
Yeah. So, you could always settle it that way.
Well, there you go.
Well, anyhow, here's the do's and don'ts of dealing with trespassers. Seriously now. One is post your property. Many states don't require no trespassing signs to be erected. I said erected. But it's still a good idea. And Wisconsin is one of them, It's like, I don't know why they changed the law and said, "Hey, you don't have to post your property. A guy should know where he is. If it doesn't say public, you should assume he's on private." You know what?
Make it easier for people
Go buy the dang no trespassing signs and post your land. Post it. And I would post it every 50 yards. Because then if the fool comes on and he walked past all them bright neon orange or pink signs or whatever.
He knows he's wrong.
Yeah. Now you pistol whip him. No, don't pistol whip him. I'm just saying. But anyhow.
So that's one of the don'ts. Don't pistol whip him.
Don't pistol whip him. But anyhow.
If he pistol whips you first?
Well, then, if he even looks like he's going to pistol whip you, pistol whip him.
Okay, all right. Well, that's
if he even does this twitch with his lip, like, then pistol whip him.
What if he's a non-resident?
Well, then pistol whip him for sure. Look at his license plates.
Yeah, alrighty. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's got one eye and talks with an accent. Pistol whip him.
Alrighty then. Yeah. So,
place high visibility signs around the perimeter of your property and walk it to ensure no one can access your land without seeing at least one sign. There you go. Look at that. So, then also it says make sure you adhere to your state's sign posting laws, which, they got the right letters and you sign the sign and all that kind of good stuff,
Yeah.
Which is goofy. I mean, we have laws that say we don't have to post our land, but yet if we post it, you have to sign it.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Oh, yeah. So create a no trespassing cooperative. They obviously, whoever wrote this has never hunted in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I don't think that exists.
Because when deer season comes, there's no cooperative anything.
No. I mean, I've seen brothers punch brothers over deer in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's brothers that don't even talk to each other anymore over who voted for who. Wait a minute, that's my brother.
Oh, boy, yeah.
Yeah, but anyhow, it says, talk with neighbors before hunting season to review your property boundaries and devise a monitoring strategy to prevent trespassing. It says doing this will also devise a consensus about how to retrieve wounded deer in the event that one dies on your neighbor's land. Again, like I said, obviously whoever wrote this doesn't know anything about Wisconsin because you're best of friends, but until a deer goes onto somebody else's land.
Actually, the guy that we were hunting with here this last week, he was talking about, Ed with Central Wisconsin Armory, he was talking about a guy had called him up and said, "Hey, I shot a deer and he ran onto your land and I was just curious if I could track him." And Ed says, "Yep, I'll be right down there. Just hang tight." Well, he gets down there. There's nobody at the cabin or anything, and he calls him back up. And he says, "Hey, where you at?"
They found out they were already on his land.
He called him from his land.
Yeah.
He was already there.
They assumed that they were going to, and they actually thought he was gone. That's why,
Yep. So
that's a no-no.
Yeah.
Ask first. Ask first.
That there actually
That's pushing it, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if you're going to go on somebody else's land, just give
If you
them a
want
call.
permission, call me. You know, I'm probably going to be neighborly to you, but don't go on my land without asking me first.
Well, and it's
then
also,
I'm going to be ticked off.
It's not just about ticking somebody off, it's about safety.
Yeah.
You know, that particular fella has a lot of disabled vets and a lot of guys that are coming back that are kind of...
You surprise a vet in the woods if you don't belong there, and you all of a sudden
you know
sneak
what?
out of the
You
brush.
just go on there and you don't know. They could have a disabled, a blind hunter. They could have some kids hunting. You don't know who's hunting, so you don't go on to somebody's land
Yeah.
without telling them, because you don't know who's hunting there and what they're set up and they're expecting or not expecting. Just don't do it. It's not safe.
You go on the wrong guy's land, you might end up in a booby trap.
It's a good way to end up in a hole.
Yeah,
You know?
it is actually.
That's
You
right.
know, people say that jokingly, but
That's right.
people get into some very heated, very dangerous situations over trespassing.
Yep.
So we're going to come back to that after this break, folks. Just hang tight, and we'll be right back with you.
Hey, welcome back to Biggie Outdoor Radio. We're wrapping up our first hour here this morning, and we were just talking about the do's and don'ts, or whatever it is, about trespassers.
Dealing with trespassers.
How to handle trespassers. And what did we call it? Don't pistol whip them,
Yeah.
depending on who they are.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, it says here, don't try to detain a trespasser.
Well,
So,
let's
is that-
review. We just took a break. We should
Yeah.
review. It says don't. It says do post your property.
Yep. Even though you don't have to, it makes things a little bit easier.
That's right.
So post your property.
It
folks.
says do create a no trespassing cooperative, which, you know, I've got my
doubts about
doubts
that.
about how well that's going to work. Depends
Yeah.
on who your neighbors are, you know.
Yeah.
It depends on... I'm thinking of some farmers that we used to live near.
Yeah. It ain't gonna matter.
That ain't happening. That ain't happening.
Yeah. But yeah, the next one here, it says, don't try to detain a trespasser. So there you go. Don't pistol whip them.
Well, that's not pistol whipping him, not detaining him. Detaining him is when you jump on him, try to put him in flex cuffs or zip tie his hands together and hold him for the law to get there. That's detaining him.
Okay. All right. So pistol whip him and send him on his way?
Well, that's what you got to do. It says don't detain him. So I guess when you're done pistol whipping him, you got to let him go.
Oh, man. Okay.
So, yeah, detaining him, it says don't try to detain him. It says it's extremely frustrating to catch some schmuck on your land. Most states consider trespassing to be a relatively minor offense, a misdemeanor crime, which that's another problem right there. If they would consider it to be a little bit bigger, give them some bigger fines, some of these guys would think twice.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. But it's illegal to detain someone, and that's actually a bigger crime. If you try to detain him, that's kidnapping. You get a bigger fine for detaining the moron than he does for trespassing on your land. And it can be dangerous because actually, that guy's got a gun. So a Michigan game officer has a statement here. It says violator is likely to be armed, and if he's willing to trespass, he might be willing to do more. So if you lease a property, you want to make sure you talk to the guy that you're leasing it from, the landowner, about how he or she wants to deal with trespassers. Because just because you're leasing the property doesn't mean that you can kick people off, call the cops on them, whatever, because you don't own it. So you better talk to the landowner. It prevents confusion and ensures that you're not overstepping your rights. So again, you might be leasing it, but that doesn't mean that he didn't give somebody else permission to go on there.
Whether he told you that you have the exclusive lease to that land or not, he might have told 2 or 3 other people that.
Yeah, and
just to get you to lease it.
And you know what? You might have leased it, but that doesn't mean that all of a sudden he didn't tell his good buddy down at the bar or his brother Joe or somebody 2 years ago they could go on there anytime they wanted to.
Yeah, exactly.
So be careful, especially if you're leasing. Make sure you know what's what. Make sure you ask the questions and ask how you're allowed to handle trespassers, because that could get to be a very sticky situation, and we don't need to have anybody in any sticky situations. Don't overreact when you catch a trespasser. It's almost like these guys rode around with me or something. It says when you catch a trespasser, it's normal to feel angry and violated, and they're on your land you leased. So they're probably up to no good. So inflammatory statements can only make things worse.
Maybe they did ride with you.
Yeah.
Maybe your truck was bugged.
Yeah. Don't jump out, call them names, threaten them, tell them that you are going to pistol whip them.
I remember that day.
Remember, we have a back tag system in Wisconsin. Get the back tag. You know, I'm going to tell you, just because they got a back tag doesn't mean you got to prosecute them right away. You could always ask somebody. It depends on how blatant it is, what they're doing, where your land is. If your land border is public and you catch them kind of wandering along and they're on your land, you tell them, hey, if they give you some lip, turn them in. Take a picture. I'm going to tell you what, a picture is worth 1,000 words when it comes to a court and prosecuting. Get a picture.
That's right, yeah.
You got phones on you, snap a photo. So that'll work. So
they might just be innocently wandered off of public land, and all they need is somebody to point them back in the right direction, you know, let them know, hey, if I see you on here again, I'm going to pistol whip you. I mean, I'm going to call the authorities.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that...
Why are we talking about pistol whipping so much?
I don't know.
What happened to us this week that we're just...
I don't know. We got it. This must be the Paris thing.
It could be.
Anyway, it says, you know, a common mistake that landowners or leasers make when they confront a trespasser, they immediately tell the guy, you're in trouble and I'm going to call the game wardens or the cops. Because now you just warn the guy what's coming, and he's already on the defensive and he's ready to fight. You're ready to fight. Out come the pistols.
Oh, good Lord.
So, there you go.
Alrighty then.
And what's another one here? Do collect evidence. Well, there you go. That's right back to the camera thing.
Yeah,
there
you just said
catch
take a
trespasser, assist the law enforcement by taking a photo of the violator
and their
vehicle with their smartphone.
What if you don't have a smartphone?
If you have a dumb phone.
Oh, man.
Write it down.
What if you are illiterate?
Use your own blood. Cut yourself and write it in your own blood.
That doesn't change the fact that you're illiterate. What if you can't spell?
Oh, that's right, illiterate.
I didn't say what if you don't have.
Well, you still should be able to copy the symbols you see.
You give me a fat crayon and a piece of paper, I should be able to make something
There you
happen.
go. Mm-hmm. Record the date and time of the incident if you're literate. What the violator was wearing, and any other details that will help you identify the perpetrator.
Yeah. He was wearing blaze orange.
There you go.
That should narrow it down.
He had a beard, and he was wearing blaze orange. Oh, yeah. We get him for sure.
He was sitting on a case of Busch Light. Well,
oh, I know who that guy is.
yeah.
So, one of the best ways to identify a trespasser is to capture their photo with a game camera. Oh, yeah, I carry one of them in my pocket all the time.
Yeah.
Conceal cameras by placing them 15 feet off the ground and point them downward at a common entry. Okay.
A common entry.
I know the guy's going to trespass and he's going to come in right past that tree right over there.
Yeah.
This is how you get into my land. I'm 40 acres, but this is where you get in.
Yeah, I don't think so. In fact, not that I'm a trespasser, but if I was to trespass, I probably wouldn't go in the most obvious point of
this
entry.
one. Hey, speaking of that, did you see that on Facebook where that guy and his wife in Shawano?
Yeah.
In Shawano County, they went on a land and they took some kid's stand.
Huh.
The guy had the land up for sale, and these people went on there. They got him on trail camera. These two people, they walked on there, got a smuggler. He's got a cigar in his mouth. Looks like Lassie taking a dump, and he's walking around on there, and they swipe the kids.
So he had a beard and a cigar.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was walking around, and he's got the kid's stand right under his arm, puts it over his shoulder, whatever. You know, he's walking out. They got like 3-4 different pictures of the guy and his wife walking around on the land and stealing a stand. Believe it? And so
good catch, Biggie.
yeah, and they said put up dummy cameras where trespassers can see them and hide the real cameras, and pointed at the dummy camera to snap pictures of them vandalizing the dummy camera. Wow.
No, it doesn't say the dummy camera.
It says vandalizing the dummy.
The dummy. So
yeah, well, that could go a long ways, but I think that is just ingenious. Mm-hmm. That's really, I mean, that's going all out there. I mean, that's almost like entrapment, almost. Wow,
that's impressive.
Yeah, that's.
But no, I did not see that article.
The article, yeah, it's got pictures of the kid, and it's. Oh, you know what? Another thing is here. This is what that's not on this article, but I'm going to say this is a don't. It's a big don't. If you don't want trespassers, don't put signs all over your land that say quality management, QDMA.
Yeah.
Because what you're saying is, hey,
Yeah.
we don't shoot the little bucks. So there's bucks running all over here if you want to poach.
You know, and another thing is, you know, people watch Facebook.
Yeah.
You know, a trespasser, whether you want to admit it or not, it might be your best friend who's jealous of all the big bucks you got running around. So yeah, you might be excited about the bucks you got on trail camera and all that. Don't post their pictures all over Facebook if you don't want trespassers, because if people see you've got good bucks in the works.
Here's a good one. He sees you got a buck, then he sees you're down someplace that you're not on your land hunting.
Yeah.
And he knows you can go on out there. Yeah.
I wish people could see your face when we do this radio show.
I make some good
You
faces.
you make some really good faces.
Actually, they don't even know that we're sitting here doing a naked radio show.
You can put your tongue back in your mouth.
Hey, but you know, like I said, QDMA signs I think are the silliest thing I've ever seen, because you're just inviting people to come on there. First of all, they do you no good. What are you telling the guy on the road not to poach your deer? He don't give it a
If you're
darn.
gonna poach a deer, don't poach the 4-pointers.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah.
Either your neighbors, if you want your neighbors to know, go tell them.
It is stupid. If you're gonna poach a deer, why would you shoot a 4-pointer? Oh wait, that's
No,
not what
I'm
you're
saying it's stupid to put those signs up, because
Yeah.
if your neighbors, either your neighbors know or they don't, and they don't really care. So,
You narrowed it right down there. They either know or they don't know.
right,
Yeah.
you don't need a sign.
Yeah.
Go tell 'em.
It's a 50-50 chance they do or don't know.
It's one of the two, black or white. There you go.
Yeah. Well, we better take a break here, folks, and when we come back after these short messages, we're going to hit you with a brand new hour of Biggie Outdoor Radio. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back with you.